Teeth TV is brought to you by... Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Rooster Teeth podcast. I'm Gus.
I'm Gavin.
I'm Barbara, double shot.
I'm Andrew.
And Gus. What's double shot?
It's a double shot.
It's a two.
Oh,
We haven't been in the same shot on a podcast in a very long time.
This shot looks like Unreal Engine versions of you guys. Like you guys have been
Something
rendered.
is strange about the light, or I don't know.
I'm in a mocap suit in a different building.
we lost chat on the other monitor down here. I don't know if somebody
It's a different camera.
Different camera.
Yeah, we're filling something in with a different camera because again we're in a temporary setup. But a different temporary setup.
Temporary setup changed again.
Yeah.
So we were in one temporary setup before.
Yeah.
Everything got moved to this room.
Right.
For today.
Is this permanent?
And tomorrow.
For today and tomorrow.
And then, so this week's episode.
Does that look permanent? What are you doing?
Don't break that. This week's episode and next week's episode will be in this room. But then after that, everything's getting moved to a different room again.
It's so close to.
So they built all of this. Oh, that was a really satisfying sound.
That was good.
Man, that was nice.
Yeah.
You like that?
And then the crew worked really hard to get everything set up in here, and then they just have to tear it all down and put it to another room.
Yeah,
again.
this room is turning into one of those jumpaline places in like half an hour. So we gotta hurry up and film this episode.
I don't know if the mics can pick it up, but there's like construction work happening right outside this door.
Why don't we swish?
I also just saw a guy walk by the window.
We're trying to get everything done so we can move you into the new permanent space.
Why don't we try out every room until we settle on?
Hey, Gavin,
Yeah.
I think you're going to look back at that sentence in a couple of weeks and go, pretty close.
Wish I didn't.
Today's episode of RTP is brought to you by the Rigid Shop Vac. Listen carefully, you can hear that puppy purr right now.
We're in constant flux. We're moving around. You know, the one production that has a definite time every week that it goes on.
This is the best
I'm
we can
just
do right
saying.
now. I understand, but this is what we got.
Hey,
It's
Eric,
not like
this
we
is
were like,
great. This is
surprise, we're
great.
doing a podcast.
None of this, no one was taking my
been
surprise.
13 years. It's been over 13 years as of today.
Congratulations, over 1,000 hours.
Over 1,000 hours of podcast.
Does that mean we're good at this now?
I love this room. I love this shot of me and Gavin look like Uncanny Valley versions of ourselves. It's great.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, for the holidays, we got to deep fake Barbara and Gavin into the podcast. They're calling in remotely. Yeah, God. So, yeah, so if things look weird, that's why. But on the bright side, I've got a one shot, which is way too much Gus. I don't have to share it with Gavin
Not
anymore.
enough, Gus.
I did enjoy sharing it.
Too little Gus. Too few. Whatever the one.
Too few, Gus.
Too few Gus.
Before I forget, there's something like I wanted to talk about. I saw someone from the community reached out last week, and they told me that they were going to be they're going to be riding the Tour de France course a week before the professionals do it to raise money for Cure Leukemia.
Oh, wow.
And they've got a GoFundMe set up. So it's like they're going to run the entire course raising money for this leukemia charity. And I thought it was really cool. I tweeted about it last week. If you want to go, I'll see if I can find a link to put in the comments here right now. I thought it was a really cool endeavor. It's someone they've been watching our content, they said, for over 10 years. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I want to try to get the word out there and signal boost it, like someone who's trying to do something positive in this terrible, shitty world that we live in right now.
You said they're going to run the entire tour?
They're going
to bike it.
Yeah,
Okay.
bike
I was like, good lord.
Your feet
They're
are
going
gonna
to
fall off.
bike? Or they're going to run the entire Tour de France course?
Oh, my God.
Graham Donaldson.
Can anyone just do anything before the main event? Like, could we do the Olympics before the next one?
Probably not.
Why?
Because there's a lot of stuff that you require for the Olympics, whereas
Run,
Tour de France is just an
Throw
area.
shit,
Jump shit.
kick shit.
You can do like the original Olympics, right? People have been doing the Olympics for thousands of years.
Can I just carry a torch just like before the Olympic? What are you doing?
Did you see on Reddit today someone wrote that if you were an Olympian, you can, I guess anyone can do this, but if you're an Olympian, you're allowed to use the acronym OLY in your signature, like PhD for doctor. It's like
You're allowed to.
Olympians, can use OLY to signify that they competed in the
But your
Olympics.
signature could be anything. You could be Gus Ollie.
Gus
Sure.
Ollie.
If you want.
but it's
whatever you want.
Gus Sorola,
It's fraud.
OLY.
What?
Everything's fake.
Aren't you where you could marry people? What's that called?
Minister.
Ordained?
Yeah, I've been ordained.
So what does that add to your signature, if anything? Could you add like
A couple weeks worth of work every time.
Yeah.
it's not like
I don't know if there's a signature you can
PhD
add for that.
kinda thing.
I think I talked about this years ago on the podcast when we were still in the Congress office. But one time when we were traveling, I was doing a hotel booking, and I think we were traveling internationally somewhere. And like the list of titles you could choose from was insane. Like you clicked on the drop down. Normally it's like Mr., Mrs., Miss. This one was like
Doctor, yeah.
this one was like, doctor, president, captain, commander, like any.
Your Honor.
Yeah, I think that was on there too. Like almost anything you could imagine, any title you could imagine was in that drop down, and it was long.
I like the idea of other websites, the president like booking something and he has to settle for Mr. Like if they have a shitty drop down, he's like, where's the is it for the president or just people who are presidents of other things?
yeah, like president of a chess club or something?
I just like the idea of like something that one
There's one drop down menu that says president and then a smaller one that's like chess club. Like you get like, it's like or USA. You get a whole like a list of different. It's like, oh, okay.
You select one and then the other.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that thing where USA is not at the top. You got to scroll down.
Yeah,
It's
you gotta go all the way
alphabetical. So
down,
chess
yeah.
club is above it.
It's next to United Arab Emirates. It's like all the way down at the bottom. Yeah.
OLY is an earned title given by an organization, according to Peter Hayes,
Of course, he'd know
which
it.
makes sense. I mean, everyone watching has access to Google, right?
True, but leave it to Peter Hayes to look it
knows
up
all.
and spread the good word.
When are we going to get him on a podcast?
He lives in another country or something. I think.
So did I.
yeah,
It's
but
doable.
You were here.
The did is the
Yeah. The past tense is doing a lot of heavy lifting. In that.
You're about to hit 10 years here, right? In February?
Oh shit, that went quick.
Yeah, because I just hit 10 years in December. And so you're shortly after me, which is so funny because we just had like our end of year all hands like award ceremony where they give out like company awards and talk about like people who
Did
are
you
celebrating.
win?
I didn't win. I never win. We talked about this on the podcast before. I don't win awards, but
It's like bitter about it.
it's okay. I've only been here 10 years. But
You win an award for being somewhere for 10 years. Not like an achievement.
I had 10 years of awards.
You can use OLY in your signature.
There we go.
Okay, you've officially
I've given
accepted
you
that.
permission.
But they recognize everyone who had their 5-year anniversaries and 10-year anniversaries. And it's funny because since Gavin's is in February of 2012, you're counted in the, I guess, 2022 award ceremony, even though you're like 2 months
Practically there,
after 2021. I feel like they should count you in that one.
Yeah.
No,
What
'cause
though?
once,
Grandfather in.
Doesn't mean anything.
once you make an exception, then you got to do it for everyone. No, make him wait.
I guess they do it.
The rules are there for a reason.
So if I go past 10 and keep going, then I should probably do another 10. 20 and done?
You got to round up.
Yeah. I don't want to stop at 10, really.
No,
Well,
You didn't stop at 10.
I didn't. Still going. You can't stop me.
it's going to be 20 years soon
It is, isn't it?
because got
A
2022,
little
that's
over a
19
year.
years.
Less than a year and a half. Oh God.
Well, maybe I'll stop when Gus hits 20.
It's so long. Before the podcast started, we were doing this thing where we do this every now and then. We talk about like old bars and old places in Austin that we used to go to, and like we're naming all these places off. And I'm like, as we're talking about it, I'm like, man, it seems like that place just closed down or was around just a couple of years ago, but that place closed 20 years ago. Like that place has been gone for a long time, and it's like just in the blink of an eye. Like looking back, you're like, oh, it's not that long. Wait, that was in the 90s.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I mean, not just closed down yet. 2019. Oh, there's a 19 at the beginning of it. Oh, shit. Oh, God.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, dude. Oh
Sucks.
my
I
God.
hate it.
Time, the passage of time.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Thumbs down.
Yeah, do not
One
lie.
star.
1 star. But speaking of passage of time on a more positive note, and speaking of 2022, we did announce that tickets for RTX 2022 will be on sale January 15th. Coming back in Austin.
Rootin' tootin'.
In
Texas.
person after a couple years of hiatus. And
Like maybe, though, right?
yeah, if everything goes well.
I think by July.
You think?
They're gonna clip this by then when everything has gone to
What did you think a
absolute
month ago?
shit.
Yeah, it's like, it is definitely happening.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we do want a safe event, right? So it's
Yeah,
like,
of
we're anticipating things will go down, things will be better. We are going to have health and safety measures in place. Both us, the city of Austin, who owns the convention center, everyone wants to have a safe and healthy event. So we're going to have, face masks will be required, proof of COVID vaccination or negative COVID test, enhanced cleaning, like all that typical stuff that, we've all grown used to over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we're anticipating things will subside, hopefully get better, and then we will have safety measures on top of that. But it'll be great to be back together in person after not having it for a couple of years. Officially going on sale Monday, January 24th at 10 a.m. It's an early bird presale for FERC members. Wednesday, January 26th is early bird for general public, and then regular rates are on February 14th. It's our Valentine to you.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's all coming really soon. Just keep that in the back of your mind. Just remember.
RTXevent.com.
RTXevent.com. Thank you. Thank you, mysterious voice.
Yep.
With the
RTXevent.com.
with the talking point.
Wade Boggs Carpet World. Sorry, I always.
Yeah, I have been wrong before.
Excited to be back in person for RTX.
Yeah.
It's just like that's like the highlight of the year for me every single year, and to have that back again, it's like such a long time coming.
Yeah.
I'm so pumped, and it's on my birthday again.
Happy birthday. We did it for you.
Really excited. At least we're not planning it anymore.
Yeah. you just have to show up this time.
That was the worst part. Well, I mean, I loved planning RTX with you, but like
It was.
having to like do all that work and then essentially celebrate your birthday with more work is like, wah.
Who did more work?
It was very
Yeah.
different work.
I got you
Gus.
a chore.
Easily
Yeah.
Gus.
Very, very different.
We did different
works.
stuff.
Yeah.
He
It
did
was-
more stuff like with the convention center and exhibitors and all that stuff, and I did more like the programming and the.
I remember not sleeping, like just like
Yeah.
being freaked out and stressed out for like weeks and months leading up to it, like dozing off for just a little bit and then waking up like in a panic, like, oh my God, I got stuff to do.
Do you remember Crazy Hats?
Yeah.
Do you remember when you could not sleep and still function?
Yeah.
I stayed up the other night until like 5 a.m. for no reason. And it fucked me up for days.
Yeah. Why
Like,
would you do that? Sounds like a nightmare.
It was so stupid.
What
And
were you doing?
nothing. I got to that point. So, there's like a threshold, and it's usually around midnight where I'm like, okay, I just need to like start the wheels of going to bed now. I'll get in bed, do the
Yeah.
thing, turn the lights down, all that stuff. And usually I'm a little sleepy by then. And so going to bed is natural. But if for whatever reason I go past that point, if I get past tired, I get this second wind around like 1 a.m. or 2 a.m. And either I have to fight that with all my might, or I go till like I just stay awake till like 5 a.m. And then this was one of those nights where I just was like, let it ride, and just stayed up till 5 a.m. And it ruined me for days.
What time did you wake up then?
Oh, I went to bed at 5, and then I woke up at 9. Like when I
Oh, so you got
normally
4
wake
hours
up. So I got 4 hours of sleep. And
Did it
then
just happen that one night, or is it like recurring?
that was the last time that happened. That was a couple of weeks ago, and before that, I mean, it's been a long time since I stayed up. I usually don't. I can't do like back-to-back like nights of staying up. Used to be able to do that.
Yeah, I remember.
Call it, man. Yeah, just
Yeah, like you know what? I'm not going to sleep tonight, and I'm going to be fine with it.
Yeah, exactly. And let this be a lesson to all you kids out there, because this is always a tempting thought, especially when traveling. The holidays are coming around. Be safe, travel safe, mask up. That if you have an early flight, you will be tempted to say, fuck it, I'll just stay up.
Don't.
And I'll just stay up all night and get on my like 6 a.m. flight. Do not do that.
Don't ever do that.
It's so tempting.
Even just an hour of sleep, even if it's just you go to bed, you close your eyes for an hour or 2 hours, worlds better than trying to stay up
Yeah.
and power through it.
Then power through it. What a nightmare. And it never works. I think I've done that several times in my life, and every time I'm like, this time.
Yeah,
Never.
you're always tired at the worst points too. It's like when you've got to pay attention to stuff, or when
Right,
you've got to
exactly.
wait 45 minutes to board, but you're just like,
And it's like
Yeah.
Right, they're like, okay, boarding pass ID. You're like, I should have had that out. I think I put it. What is it? I just had.
oh
it in
shit, I brought my gun.
I've been having this similar thing. Last week, I had like 3 nights like that where it was almost like jet lag, where I would go to bed at 11 p.m. or something and wake up at 1. a.m.
Like naturally?
Yeah, it'd be like my second wind, but so strong that it would actually wake me up from sleep on a delay. And then I'd be up till 5 easily every time.
Jeez.
And I'd just be like, I haven't flown anywhere. Well, I flew to New York and back. I don't think the 1 hour time zone is was doing the jet lag.
No wicked jet lag there?
Yeah. But after about 3 nights of that in the same week, I just had that sort of like tired-y fog feeling where everything's a little, it's not physically foggy, but you just kind of feel like an overall just sort
Were
of
you
like
hallucinating at all?
Yeah, well, I was just so slow in like reactions to stuff, and I was like, I can't really do anything.
No.
I'm awake, obviously, because it's noon now, and I don't want to fall asleep at noon because I want to sleep tonight. P.S. That didn't work.
Right.
And then you just end up not being really able to do anything productive. I'm like, oh, I need to get this edit done, but I can't because I'm an idiot right now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make good decisions. I'm going to be lazy. I'm going to make lazy decisions. So I can't really do that. And I'm just going to wait for time to pass to try and reset this for tomorrow. And it happened like 3 times. I was like, I don't know what's going on.
I fucked myself so hard with that recently because I went to the UK for a convention a few weeks ago. And it was one of those flights that gets in at like 6 a.m. in London. Mm-hmm. And it leaves Austin, I think, like 6 p.m. I forget what the timing is. And I was like, okay, perfect. You could sleep on the flight.
And then you start your day
Get there,
fresh.
you start your day, and then just power through, and then just go to bed at normal time. Did not sleep a wink on the plane at all. And then I got into London, and I went, should I just try to power through the day so I'll be really tired at night and just be able to sleep right through the night? So I did that. I stayed up all day. By like dinner time, I was a little loopy, but I was still feeling okay. Like later on in the night, like 9, 10 o'clock, I was like doing the head bob, falling asleep thing.
Yep.
And then by the time I went to bed, which is at like midnight, could not go to sleep. I was overly tired to the point where my body just wouldn't let me sleep. And then I had a panic attack.
That'll happen.
Jesus.
Like a mild panic attack that just lasted me all through the night, where I would sleep like maybe 15 minutes and wake back up and my heart was like going like 130 beats per minute. Per
second. Holy shit. Yeah.
But then like the entire trip, I was just so fucked.
Yep.
I couldn't sleep.
Yeah.
That can also last so much longer than you expect. Like sometimes I'm affected for like 2 weeks off like a 4-day trip to another country and back. Can I get back to normal at any point?
I got back so I flew back and landed like 4 p.m. on Monday, and I went home, had dinner with Trevor, and at 7 o'clock I fell asleep and I woke up at 9 a.m. the next day.
Wow. 14 hours of solid sleep.
It was beautiful. I was like, I could think again. I know how to use my brain again.
I might have told this story on this podcast before, but I did videography at a summer camp years ago. This is years and years and years ago, early 2000s. Did videography at a summer camp. And so I had to film all day and then edit all night for like a previously like, yes, this is what happened yesterday. Like edit all night a video to show the next day at like the morning,
meeting,
where they gather all the campers. So after it was a week-long camp, I probably was averaging like 3-4 hours of sleep a night. Oof. Maybe. The last night I just had to stay up all night because I had to edit the whole video. And I remember exporting the last video, going and turning it in. And I mean, I felt like insane. Like I felt like I was going like just vapor trails, like unbelievably a week of like basically no sleep. And so I went to the place where I was staying. They gave me my own room. I didn't have to stay with any campers, thank God. Went to my room, laid down in bed at like 10 a.m. after I turned in the video. Blackness. I wake up 11 a.m. and I feel well rested. I feel great.
You didn't.
I slept for 25 hours.
Wow.
I slept from 10 a.m. on Friday till 11 a.m. on Saturday.
Holy fuck.
A whole day, like a whole day and an hour.
I did something.
I bet you felt amazing.
I felt incredible.
But also you like transported.
Yeah, it was absolutely, just...
I did something very similar. It was like a commercial I was on for like 5 days, and they were becoming longer each day. It was like 12 hours and 13. Eventually, it was like 18 hours in on the final day, and I just was a zombie at the end of it. And it was similar to your thing, where I slept for about 13 hours, was up for a little bit, and then I was like, you know what, I'm not done. And I just went back to sleep for like another 12 hours. I was like, I didn't exist in that day. I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
You like missed a day.
Yeah, just missed
entirely.
a day. Just an entire day gone. And like, that was the crazy thing. Is like, I was like, it was very disorienting because again, I like looked at my phone. It was like 11 a.m. I didn't think to look at the date. I was like, wait, that's weird. I feel like very well rested. I feel like, feel fantastic. And then like, oh, missed calls. Oh, people have been looking for me because I've been gone for an entire day. Just zapped. And I didn't like get up to go to the bathroom, didn't stir, didn't dream. I was just like seen missing for 20
You were cryogenically frozen for 25 hours.
Do you think that's the closest you've been to death without anything bad happening? Like, that's not normal. That's not healthy.
No.
That's awful.
Certainly not.
The body shouldn't be doing that.
Can you imagine if there was like
Decidedly not.
some giant news event that had happened on that day and you wake up the next day and you're like, what is everyone on about? What's everyone talking about?
Yeah, no, it's some that's like a real like beginning of a Twilight Zone episode or some like, just a man slept for 25 hours.
Like, at what point is it a coma? Like, if you went 2 days, was that a coma? Do you have to be on
it's brain
life
activity,
support?
right?
Coma is like a medical, like.
Yeah, I'm sure he still had regular brain activity.
Right.
Okay.
I don't
Well, I
think
mean-
being asleep for a long time is considered a coma, technically.
I don't know what class is a coma.
I assume
Here,
it's
let
just
me
like
type. When does a coma start?
It's
Tuesday.
it's a coma if you can do this, and they don't like by their face, and they don't wake up.
You don't wake up.
Yeah, exactly.
I assume it's like, just unconsciousness that you can't wake up from. That sounds really dark.
Like a coma.
Like a coma. Da-na-na-na.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. I can't find. Like, I found
How long does coma?
I found a lot of how to explain coma to kids. Like, yeah.
Oh my Jesus Christ!
I remember being young and being able to just like stay up so late and then sleep in so much because you had no responsibility. Like I used to talk to Gavin. We used to Skype until like 5 a.m. for me or something like that. Something crazy. And then I would just sleep until 4 p.m. the next day because why not? I had nothing to do.
Man,
Can't do that anymore.
And now you got responsibilities. You're an
Yeah.
adult. You got to do stuff.
Yeah, can't ever talk to Gavin again.
nope.
Only on the podcast.
Only on the podcast.
That's it. I sent Gavin a video earlier that I thought was really interesting. It was by Wendover Productions, who's one of my favorite YouTube channels. And the whole video talks about how airlines are essentially worthless and the only valuable asset they have is their frequent flyer programs. And I guess all this came to light when COVID started because the airlines needed a bailout. And, they had to get loans to sustain themselves in order to keep operations. And as part of it, they had to offer collateral. And I guess in the collateral, most airlines offered up their frequent flyer programs, which actually assigned a value to them. Most frequent flyer programs, they talk mainly about American, Delta, and United. Most frequent flyer programs are worth roughly around $20 billion.
Holy shit.
But it's like if you look at the market cap of an airline, like American, for example, might be $14 billion. It's like, how come they're worth less than their frequent flyer program? It's like if you continue along that line of thought, it's like, well, then that means that the airline itself is worth negative $6 billion in order to get to that. So it's like the airlines only exist to have their frequent flyer programs because that's their main asset that makes money for them. And they talked about how, for the most part, as a rule, and of course, a lot of this is obfuscated. You can't figure it out. You have to do like a lot of educated guessing. Most airlines lose half a cent per mile per passenger whenever they're flying someone somewhere.
Oh, wow.
And so it's like they don't make money transporting people to their destinations. They have to find all these ancillary ways to make money. And they've all started their frequent flyer program about 40 years ago, and they've made it so efficient to the point where it's like now that's all airlines is frequent flyer programs because that's where their fucking money is.
That's
so crazy.
Finance is it is just a nonsense. It's all magic. Just like,
Well, yeah,
it's worth negative $9 billion, but this like program is worth $20 billion. It's just all a shell game.
it
It's just
must-
a bunch of scams.
It must
God.
have been profitable in the past.
Well,
Because they would have had to be like, oh, yeah, let's keep buying planes. This is great.
Well,
and then eventually did it just go like,
Well, in the U.S., the airline industry changed dramatically in the 70s. I want to say it was probably in the, I think it was in the Carter administration. I could be wrong on that. Airlines used to be regulated by the government, so everything was fixed, like price-wise. Then the whole industry became deregulated, so that they really like made them a lot more competitive with each other. And I think it was shortly after deregulation that they came up with the frequent flyer program. So before, it didn't really matter because it was all government regulated. And then once the deregulation happened, that's when they started letting those capitalist wheels start turning,
Start churning.
figuring out ways to make money and to
I don't like
to
it.
capitalize on it. Yeah, and I mean it's a 16-minute video. It's like it's my jam. I saw it come up on YouTube. I was like, oh hell yes, I'm watching the shit out of this video. Like this was made just for me.
The
But yeah,
algorithm works.
they figured out like, people in a frequent flyer program, are willing to pay 5% more for a ticket with the airline that they're in with the frequent flyer program versus getting no miles on another airline. So it's like they know how much more you're willing to pay.
Also willing to take shittier flights.
Right.
From experience. I'm like, I'll take this 3-hour layover here versus this direct flight with Southwest because I get my American miles on this one.
Right.
but it's just because you get the benefit eventually from that, though, right?
Right,
Like
yeah.
you're going to spend those miles eventually, or you're going to.
Or you get an upgrade
Get
or
an
something
upgrade
like
or
that.
something.
Right. And also, I talked about it the other day about how airport lounges now won't let you in unless you're flying their airline,
Correct.
whereas it wasn't that way before. And so now I'm like, well, if I want to use the lounge, I gotta fly.
And again, that's another
such a first world problem.
that's another one of those things. And trust me, the video talks about how they figured all of this stuff out.
Yeah.
And like all these things that you think are weird, it's like, oh no, like it's them closing loopholes that people have found and trying to make sure like the system is efficient as possible, efficient as possible. And it's gotten to the point where now with all of these miles and like they're not actually worth money. You can't trade miles out for money, right? But essentially it's like it's its own type of banking and it's its own banking system, and the airlines are essentially acting as central banks in this process, figuring out like what banks they do credit cards with or who they do affinity programs with, what the value of a point is like monetarily, even though you can't sell it for money, like how much they'll sell it to partners to exchange for rewards. Like it is fucking crazy.
It's its own cryptocurrency. This is cryptocurrency before it's like they were operating their own, just like
Not wrong.
They're just operating their own bank. Like this is all. It's all house money as far as in terms of
Yeah.
how it goes. It's like a point valueless, but is worth something within this ecosystem of the airline. It's just
Right.
like
It's maddening. I mean, I guess like it's something I've having flown a lot. It's something I always think about. But it's like this video then just like scratches it. Like let's go a little further, a little deeper. You're like, what? Like it's just like all the information. Like all of this is absolutely
it's insane.
insane.
I mean, like, especially if they didn't start out with that intent. Like, what a pivot to that sort of. Oh,
Right.
this isn't effective to make money. Let's make shitloads of money without flying. Like basically, like without doing anything with planes. They were already doing that stuff.
Yeah.
It's just so weird how people like find new avenues down their business that are just ballistically successful.
It's also
Just monetizing people. It's like social media, isn't it? Where it's like
Yeah.
Twitter as a platform or whatever.
Isn't
That
Twitter
loses
like
money being run, but then you can advertise to all these people, and that's where the money is.
Right.
Yeah, isn't Twitter like massively like bankrupt or like
Well,
in the negative?
And
And like Netflix too.
let's see.
yeah, if you've got like,
and
a
which
user
is it?
base,
It's in the
you're good.
red or in the
In the
black?
red.
In the black is good. In the, red
black
is bad.
good.
And the black I think isn't that breaking even?
Black is making money.
Okay.
Red is losing money.
Gotcha.
What's breaking even?
What's red and black put together? I think that so rarely happens. That's a nonprofit
It's
organization.
the sequel to Breaking Bad.
Ah,
Breaking Even.
So the most recent financial data I have for Twitter was
I like
from
how you did a mic drop, Eric.
September 2021. The revenue was $1.28 billion. Their net income was negative $536 million. So yeah,
Okay.
losing money.
So they're in the red.
Yes, in the red. Net profit margin, negative
Breaking Bad.
41.81%. But like you said, finance is all like, it's all like a shell game.
it's a shell game.
Smoke and mirrors.
it's smoke and mirrors. It's a shell game. It was like, it's all operating on this like.
It's people not paying tax. isn't it?
It's just all that key. I mean, if you want to get really deep with it, just American, just any money, any currency is the only thing it fuels. It is everyone's collective belief that has value, it's just like that it's worth something, and just like as long as we're all into this, delusion together, we'll be fine.
Which is why like some governments really don't like cryptocurrency and they don't want it to take off. It's like they don't want a competing standard for their money. It's like, no, don't use that money. That money's trash. Use our money. Our money's real.
Right. Well, and like I guess I saw this today or yesterday. Something like 80% or 85% of all cryptocurrency is owned by like 0.005% of people. So it's like this whole like it's decentralized. Fuck no, it's not. Like
Just
most
like
of it
the
is
wealth
owned.
gap.
Yeah, the idea is decentralized, but like the holding is
like concentrated, super concentrated.
I mean, that's why it's like one person starts selling off, and then you see like if a person with enough crypto starts selling, it's like you see the markets die. Like, what happened? Why did the market go down 10% today? Oh, some dude sold $4 billion worth of cryptocurrency.
Yeah, it's being touted as like this, like a very a secure market, a decentralized currency. Like, man, that seems really volatile. It seems like ultra volatile.
I read a really in-depth story about that dude who threw away a hard drive with like $700 million worth of Bitcoin on it.
Tight.
Wasn't there also sort of someone who forgot their password to?
Yes, and he's only got like one chance left to remember it.
Yeah.
But the story I read was about the guy who threw away the hard drive and like his efforts over like the last 10 or 12 years to try to excavate his town dump to try to find his hard drive. Like he's gotten to the point where he's been petitioning the city for, he tells the city, I will give you all 25% of the money if you just let me go search for it, because he found the guy who used to manage the dump, and the guy who used to manage the dump says, residential trash from that time would be in this part of the dump. Like they know more or less where it is. He's already got the data recovery people who are like, yeah, if he's able to find the drive, the drive probably won't work, but we can recover the data off of it. Like he just needs to get the city's approval to go and dig, and the city will not let him go dig for it.
Even for like 25% of 700 million.
Yeah, it's like they say that there's really no chance you can get the data off of it, and that it's a big environmental problem to like dig up all that old trash, and it's hazardous.
That's the treasure of the future. Is there's gonna be movies about people like digging for hard drives and stuff. It's like forget all the gems and the pirate chests and stuff.
Hard drives.
It's like
Western Digital.
It's like you're not sailing out to an island to dig up buried treasure. You're like going to the center of England to an old dump.
Yeah,
and
like an abandoned Best Buy.
Yeah, you're going to like the back of a Goodwill, like next to like the old VCRs and stuff. You're like, oh, this old Hewlett Packard. Take this thing home. We've talked about that a couple times in this thing, like old hard drives, old computer software, or like old computer hardware being like sold off, or just like people buy that like Russian like laptop with a bunch of missile plans on it or something. It's just like, good grief.
Do you have to like? I can't imagine being the data recovery company for doing that. If they were working on a drive that had like $19 billion on it, would you be like? Oh, no, I couldn't find anything. I couldn't get anything off it.
I don't know what happened. Ring. I don't know.
Lots of cash stuffed in his collars.
It's like, did you put on weight? No.
No.
This is how I always look, filled with cash.
It's like that episode of The Simpsons where Marge wears that giant coat at the candy fair.
Yeah.
I was thinking of another Simpsons reference, the giant gold Homer. He's like, look again, Lenny.
14 karat gold.
So how much was on that drive in the dump?
I want to say it was like $700 million. Let me double check.
$700 million. Like, I'm asking for forgiveness, not permission. I'm getting out there with a shovel. I'm going to the dump in the dark of night with a headlamp and a fucking gas mask, and I'm like, I'm digging.
It was closer to $500 million. The article was titled "$500 million in Bitcoin Lost in the Dump." It was in Wales.
Oh God!
This story was in the New Yorker. It came out December 6th. It was a fairly recent story. I just read it a couple of weeks ago.
I was just near Wales. I could have looked.
It was August of 2013 that he threw it away.
Oh my God!
Oh my sweet God! Wait, it was, and speaking of Bitcoin, I read something else that like another statistic that's like 80%, a number I'm familiar with today. Most of Bitcoin has already been mined. I think we're up to like 80 or 90% of Bitcoin has been mined thus far.
And someday it'll be mine.
And the less of it that's left, the more power and computation it takes to mine it.
Right.
So like it scales exponentially, which is why now it's such a drain on the electrical grid and such a drain on or such a scourge on the planet.
I don't understand. It's a finite thing?
Yes, there's only so much
numbers
of the crypto that's going to be available.
It's only a bit.
What it is.
They set a limit on it.
Who sets a limit?
Eric, there's only so much math.
I don't understand how it could be a finite thing.
It's the person who invented it. What's Satoshi Nakamoto or whatever he goes by?
That's why it's called Bitcoin.
Yeah, there's only so many numbers, Eric.
Yeah.
There are, but you could just put
not
another
infinite.
place and then there's more numbers.
Well, actually.
You put a plus sign and then just keep going.
Then it's more math.
Hey, I've thought the same thing for a very long time.
I had no idea.
How is this finite?
I didn't know that it was finite until right now. I had no idea.
I think that's part of the reason. That's why it has value. Like, you can't, if you have an infinite supply of it, then it's not going to be worth anything. There is a finite supply, which requires more and more work to get, which is why.
So the last Bitcoin will take like the power of the sun to mine, is what you're saying.
It'll be so much power.
We live in Austin, which has now become this, like, not to take us down a huge tangent, but we live in Austin, and I see like the advertising push for cryptocurrency is strong here. I can't tell you how many, like, you can't drive down the road in this town without seeing a billboard, an annoying billboard that says like crypto wastes, and then wastes is crossed out and then says stores energy. And I'm like, based on everything I know about it, that is horseshit. Like,
there's another one that says like, this billboard is an NFT. Is it?
It's like, so valueless? Like, wait, like,
Gus,
Can you buy a space heater that is just like a GPU that's mining?
You could probably use that GPU as a space heater.
Like if you're buying heat, that's just like a heated element that just heats. That might as well be a mining setup.
Yeah, it would be an expensive as hell space heater.
It might pay for itself.
A bank of 3080s and just fucking have them mining crypto the entire time.
It'll pay for itself.
People do that, don't they?
I need to admit something. I've been NFTs. People have explained NFTs to me so many times. I still don't get it.
You probably understand it, but it seems so stupid that you refuse to believe that that's what it actually is.
Is that what it is?
Yes, that's what's happening. It's the simplest way to explain it would be like an image that's part of the blockchain that you can sell ownership of and prove ownership of via blockchain.
What is the blockchain?
It's a public record showing transactions. So I could sell you a JPEG of a meme. Like I could create a piece of art in Photoshop, not me.
And where would you upload that?
You can sell it. So there's different platforms that you can use to exchange NFTs. You would have to find basically like a crypto wallet. Sometimes you can do it in that has access to a blockchain that can show transaction. You pay me $50, and then in the blockchain it says Barbara owns this JPEG. Then you own that JPEG.
Okay, and what could I do with it?
You could sell it to someone else.
Do I print it out and like make it a painting in my house?
It. No, the physical representation
is not valuable.
You own the digital representation of it.
Again, Gus, you put it perfect. You put it perfectly, which is like the reason you think you don't understand it is when you hear the explanation, you must think it can't be that stupid, so it must be way more complicated.
Yeah, no,
but the fact is, it's super not.
It's just a public record of a transaction of who owns a digital piece of art.
That might be the hardest thing to explain to a caveman. Ever.
I mean, it's hard enough to explain it to people who have an understanding of modern day technology, i.e. me.
And I would feel somewhat, when people have talked about NFTs to me, like my brain releases like cognitive white blood cells to fight the information because I hate hearing about it. And it's just like
immune response.
It's an immune, like my brain issues an immune response to like hearing about NFTs.
Do they make a vaccine for that?
Jesus Christ.
In chat, Weatherman NX01 put it great. As far as I can figure, an NFT is basically a certificate of authenticity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. And I would feel better about it if they weren't attached to the most dog shit art I have ever fucking seen.
Right.
These monkeys and lions this is like sub-mental. This is awful.
But
It's
like,
awful.
I just don't get it because like people are making fucking bank off of this shit, and then some people are some things are like worth millions, right? Like, what do you get? What do you get out of it?
So it's all arbitrary, right? Like you could make the same argument about traditional art. What's art worth? It's subjective. It's whatever someone's willing to pay for
Like
it.
if you
That's
had
what
the
it's
Mona
worth.
Lisa, you could argue that it's just a bunch of paint on canvas.
Right.
This is a fantastic segue. We're not going to get a better segue
What?
than this.
Speaking of paint on
Speaking
canvas.
of paint on canvas, since we've talked about it a lot on this podcast,
Where's that
and Gus
duck
has been
NFT?
fantastically interested, I have brought I brought the original duck painting.
Oh!
The original duck painting here that I
NFT.
yeah, exactly.
It
Here,
looks fake.
take an NFT of it right now. Put it on the screen. Yeah, there you go. Certificate of authenticity. Yeah,
NFT
there it is. There, boom.
That's just a photo of a duck.
So yeah, this is my gift to you, Gus, and the gift to the podcast. Here,
Wait,
you
you're
can-
giving it to Gus?
Yeah, it's a gift to
like,
Gus.
This
and
is
the
an
podcast.
NFT transaction in real time.
Yeah.
You all are the
Was that
blockchain.
the block?
If
Was
you're
this the blockchain?
This is the blockchain right here.
if
Wait,
you're
but is
watching
it
this in the
fungible?
blockchain,
Is it fungible? What does fungible mean? Because I was like, it doesn't mean tangible. Because if it's a non-tangible,
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's an
But
NFT.
what does fungible?
so well, as we've mentioned in a previous podcast title, I hate this painting. But only because it's so good. I can't believe that this is not a picture of a duck. But now looking at it, it's like, this is absolute. Like when you look at it up close, you're like, oh yeah, it is paint. It's crazy. I asked. Andrew said he was wanting to donate the painting to the podcast.
Yeah, we should put it up on like the wall or something.
Yeah, and I thought we were going to be in that other temporary space until our permanent space. I thought, yeah, that's a great idea. And then the episode when he's here, we've moved to a different temporary space, and we're gonna move again. But we're gonna find a place for this in our wherever our podcast ends up.
A hallowed home for that for the painting that you hate so much.
I love it.
Thank you.
You're very
it's
welcome.
a great painting. I'm gonna put
Now,
it right
is it
there.
fungible?
It is fungible. Yeah, no, like that's one of my favorite things about art is like the fact that it's like from like a distance it looks like a photo, it becomes a thing, and it's like the second you like step toward it, you see like what goes in, like the components of it, like everything that your like eyes
like,
kind of
seeing it
average
up
out.
close is so cool.
Yeah.
I think that's like what I have a trouble like with the NFTs and like versus like actual physical real paintings. Like there is only one of these. Whereas everything digitally could just be replicated the exact same way over and over and over again indefinitely.
But you could own it.
But like how do you like I guess you could prove it because
It's in the blockchain. It's public
in the
record.
blockchain,
Yeah.
but I don't it's just
If you want to, it's like if you wanted to own the original Oh my God, Goosebumps
picture.
meme, right? Like you could own that. That could be yours.
I would buy that NFT.
Yeah.
With the Gershberm.
Which is maybe one of my favorites. But yeah, it's just something like that. There's really no reason. And someone in chat, I forget who it was a while ago, someone in chat pointed it out. It's just, there's a lot of money laundering that goes on there. And honestly, I think it's the same in the art world, in the traditional art world.
Yeah, true.
I think a lot of it's just like trying to clean money up or to move money around in a.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of that going on with like the like unboxed video games sort of stuff, where it's like, hey, this copy of this Super Nintendo game is $1 million.
It's like, no, it's not. Someone's just trying to clean up $1 million.
Yeah.
Someone's trying to swindle.
Just launder it through various areas. Art. I feel like now. I feel like the NFTs, cryptocurrency. I feel like this is now like the new frontier for scams. Like this is now like the place where these things, like even though they are ticket or certificates of authenticity, essentially, it really does seem like this is like a new frontier for people to launder money or to offline crimes. Or
Yeah, well, I think also it's a way to swindle people who don't understand.
Yeah.
Like, the average person may read in their newspaper or see on the news like, oh, people are making a lot of money on NFTs. I'm going to buy some. And of course, people are just willing to
Or make some.
to sell them, or
I'm going to make one.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right now.
Just you wait.
Oh,
It'll be the best NFT you've ever seen.
the Ben's NFT.
Best NFT.
What was Jeff's NFT? Was it the sandwich?
ham sandwich.
The ham sandwich?
Yep.
Oh, he made one?
Yeah.
Who bought it?
I don't know.
I don't remember, and I don't know what happened, and I don't know the outcome, and that's the way fuckface
We could
works.
find out in the blockchain.
I hope you didn't come here for details because we have not. That's I saw a pre-YouTube ad roll and for some reason didn't close it at me, didn't skip it instantly. So I don't know what it was for, or I can't remember what I was watching. But it was Tony Hawk, and Tony Hawk is retiring like 5 tricks. 5 of his like signature tricks that he like invented. He's retiring them, never doing them again, and got the last ones on video. The last time he like lands these tricks, got him on video, and is then selling that as an NFT, which is a kind of video.
But I can still watch them, right?
No.
I'm not allowed to watch them?
I mean, I guess. Again,
Well,
it's
I
like,
mean,
okay, cool. Like you own Tony Hawk's last trick video.
I think the Charlie Bit My Finger video came off YouTube to become an NFT.
Yes, I believe you are correct.
Charlie.
No, that's
Charlie.
you're funging it.
That really hurt,
you're funding it.
Charlie.
It sold for $760,999.
You know what I'm gonna buy? Blood. Dear. I love that video.
The other day we were in the office and I said blood, and you were the
Blood.
only person I think who remembered it or who laughed about it.
Yeah,
I don't know what that is.
I think it was suffering because it's a video of kids. I think it was suffering from some sort of monetization change.
Oh, interesting.
So they thought it's useless here now. But it's still like a nice bit of history that's just gone.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not
that
gone.
Well, yeah.
Someone owns it.
It's just harder to find now, I guess.
The blood video. There are 2 small children. One is probably 2, and the other one's like a newborn baby. And I guess the baby had like something on his face that the kid thought was blood. And he kept trying to tell his dad, who was filming, that the baby had blood on him. And he kept going, blood, dear. And then the dad was laughing while filming him. And he kept going, not funny. Not funny. I just love it. My favorite little kid. Blood.
I love.
Blood. You just keep saying it over and over.
Blood.
I do love in typical fashion with like parents videoing their kids. It's like a kid desperately trying to express something and a parent pointing something at them and laughing. It's just like, what's that, buddy? Please.
The kid's terrified. He thinks his little brother is dying. He got blood on his mouth.
And like the phone's shaking because the dad is laughing too hard. Like it's just like,
Yep.
Stupid little kid.
yeah,
I'm going to make this an NFT in 13 years when they're invented.
yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Blood.
I thought for sure by now, like that whole craze would have passed. I think it's not as everywhere as it was for a while, but it's still the NFTs. They're still like all over the place. Now video games are trying to figure out how to incorporate them. It's all horseshit.
It feels like a real. Again, I know. So either I know everything about it or very little about it, but it really does feel. It really does feel like this is the like California fool's gold rush. Like everyone's trying to get to market with the thing, and then it will be. There will be a moment. I've got a bottle of champagne ready to pop the second this happens. When it's just like, guys, it was all fake. Like everyone gets fleeced. Like maybe 8 people get out with actual money because they actually turn.
It was like a pump and dump scam where they put money in, pump it up, make everyone excited, and then just like liquidate.
And then out of there. And yeah, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting for the day because it feels like that. It has all the hallmarks of this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll see.
Peter H is investigating the ham sandwich. It's owned by Foodashet.
Foodashet. Your biggest fan.
How much did it go for?
I think Peter H is still looking into it. I'll keep you updated. Oh, there it is.
Have you guys seen Spider-Man?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that Spider-Man. I saw the Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. No spoilers
Too
here,
soon
of
to
course.
talk about it.
Of course, but
It's good from what I hear. Everyone seems to absolutely
Loved
love
it.
it. I haven't
Loved
seen
it.
it yet.
It was a no holds barred thrill ride. It was a good time at the movie. All like
Boilerplate,
just whatever movie poster like standard jargon they say about
I feel
movies.
like Especially, like, there's no...
Be careful with the spoilers.
No. This will be no spoilers relating
Okay.
to this movie.
It's too soon.
But seeing a Marvel movie opening weekend is hands down one of the best experiences I think you could have as a human. It's especially if you enjoy Marvel movies. But just like the amount of excitement that people express is like, it just makes it so much fun. And you just, I don't know, there's like a sense of camaraderie as well when you do that. Like seeing Endgame in theaters, I think is still one of my favorite memories of all time, personally.
Yeah, it was just...
Well-
and Meg and I were trying to watch all of the previous Avengers movies just right before that, and we were like down to the hours and like how much time we had left, and it was just hype as
Well, I think,
shit. And we went there, watched it, it was like, oh.
I think the amazing thing about Endgame that they were able to capture is that it wasn't just like you were watching those two movies. Like it was a culmination of 10 years of movies, like all these different characters, all these different movies, like all kind of converging into like one giant climax.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, that's the most amazing thing about these. It's just the
Vision.
long time payoffs that happen.
Right.
God damn it. Yeah, take a lap.
good.
Take a lap.
Like, I enjoy watching audience reaction videos to Endgame, just because it's like I just want to relive those moments.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anything more insane has ever happened on a screen in terms of the reaction that I've seen than Captain America taking the hammer.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, I know.
It was like it's like the buildings almost fell down with the
Yeah.
reaction that people had.
Screaming in the theaters. Or when he says Avengers Assemble. Just like
Yeah.
that was a pretty good moment too. Talking about Avengers, not Spider-Man, don't worry.
Yeah. Don't worry.
Yeah.
No,
Captain
no
America
spoilers
did
for
not say Avengers Assemble in Spider-Man.
it. But he might have. Now we know that he doesn't.
Oh man.
You spoiled that.
Sorry.
I thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, by saying it doesn't happen, you're giving away details about the movie.
You're actually spoiling it.
Yeah.
I saw a very funny TikTok that I posted on Instagram because I loved it so much. But it was this guy in his car being like, all right, so I'm about to see Spider-Man. I'm going to do my reaction after I see the movie. So when I come back, I'll have already seen. And it just cuts to him going, oh my God, yes! It's just so great.
Very good.
And accurate.
Definitely see it.
Yes.
I'll probably wait for it to start streaming.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't.
That's a movie theater experience, though.
I don't care about any of it.
I didn't.
It means little to nothing.
I didn't see. I
I'm
didn't.
sorry you don't have a heart. It's okay.
I didn't see Eternals, and probably won't.
It's coming to streaming next month.
Sure.
I haven't
I just
seen
like
it either.
every piece of like trailer, every like bit of marketing for it. I just like this looks like a movie, and this looks like a movie and like a property that like it would be another world's version of Marvel. Does this what I'm saying make any sense?
Yeah, no.
Like if
alternate reality Marvel or something.
If you had a TV show about there was like a TV show, it was like 30 Rock or something, show that about making movies and media. Eternals looks like a movie from that world about this huge like superhero movie conglomerate. It feels like one step removed from our reality. Just because it's just like,
I know what you mean.
you know what I mean? Like it has this like, you were speaking of the Uncanny Valley earlier. It feels like very just like, yeah, just inaccessible in a weird kind of way that like just turned me off.
I remember watching Silicon Valley where Kumail Nanjiani gets super buff all of a sudden one season. And you're just, what's going on here? And then you realize that he was preparing for Eternals.
Yeah, he was on the podcast like when they were promoting Stuber.
Yeah.
And I remember when we saw him, we were like, man, you're really buff. He's like, I've got a great. He wasn't announced. He's like, I've got a role I'm training for. He's like, I'm super excited about it. It was like, man, that dude is fucking ripped now.
They're like one season apart, he just like fucking jacked. It's like, well, what happened there?
Yeah.
It's like Chris Pratt on Parks and Rec. Doesn't
Oh.
he get like super fit at one point on one season? 'Cause he's,
Yeah,
like, doing Guardians.
Yeah, and they even make, as I recall, like Ben asked him, like, "Hey, did you lose weight? Did you lose like a lot of weight?"
He said, I stopped drinking beer, right?
Oh, it's like, wait, and that's it? He's like, "I drink a lot of beer."
Drank a lot of beer.
The MCU is freaking crazy though, considering they have. I think now they have more movies than the James Bond franchise.
Yeah.
But James Bond started in 1962.
They did it within like a
They've done it in
11-year
like-
or 12-year
Yeah.
time span.
And now we also have like all the television series too that Disney Plus is putting out. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you guys are watching Hawkeye.
No.
Nah, dog.
Oh, am I the only one? It's good. It's actually really good.
I'll get to it.
It's actually very
Don't worry
enjoyable.
about it.
Yeah, I can't bring myself to watch it. I don't know. I probably will eventually. Maybe when they're all out.
Get past the first episode, and then you'll love it.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bond movies, and movies, did you see the last Bond movie, the No Time
I'm
to
waiting
Die?
for it to stream.
Jesus, Gus.
It's streaming for $20 right now. I was like, I don't want to pay $20 to stream it. I'll stream it when it's like $6.
Eric.
Yeah.
4DX.
Now that's an
Will you
experience.
see a
But
movie?
that's not movies to me. Like if these movies were playing in 4DX, I would see them in 4DX.
Spider-Man is playing in 4D.
I would see it there.
Yeah, okay.
But like the theater experience means so little to me. I don't enjoy being around a lot of other people. Everyone's too loud. I just want to watch this the way I want to watch it, and I don't like it.
I feel like you'd like going to the movie theater in like England.
Why is it very like quiet?
People keep to themselves.
Just nobody really. I mean, when I lived there, no one. I can't imagine anyone like screaming out in
Yeah.
a movie.
Yeah, but
It's
then you
that
order
stuff.
food at the Alamo there, and it's all fish and chips, you know,
Yeah, it's right.
or
like-
tikka masala. I mean, that's
like,
all those are your options.
Yep.
Licorice Pizza's coming out like this weekend, the new Paul Thomas Anderson movie.
Yeah.
And I'm really like, wow, like I really want to see it.
Really? You're the one.
I want to see
Paul
it.
Thomas
Do you?
Anderson?
Yeah, I nothing
I
about.
don't think that guy makes a movie that misses, man. Like,
Really?
Yeah.
What other movies has he done?
He did. I mean, he made Inherent Vice. He made
Which is a
Punch
huge
Drunk
miss.
Love, Boogie Nights,
Miss.
There Will Be
Hit.
Blood, The
Eight,
Master.
Part 8. He's made like all
Phantom
these movies.
Thread.
I really love these movies. I'm really excited.
I'm super hot and super cold with him.
Really?
I think he's either amazing or terrible.
Oh,
There's no middle ground with him.
So I'm really excited to see this, but it's at like Alamo. I was hoping that it was showing at AFS. That felt like it was going to be a big sort
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
empty thing, and it
Yeah.
would be fine. But now it's like, do I want to go opening weekend to go see this movie with all these people who are also like, I don't know. It's just like with all the food and everything.
When does
and
it come
it's-
out?
Like this weekend, Christmas.
Everyone's going to be seeing Spider-Man and Matrix.
I
so
just
you
looked at
should be
tickets
okay.
and it's like it's packed.
Yeah.
Yeah, trying to get tickets for this is like, ugh. I'll just go like midday on
I have a
Monday.
question about that movie because I've
Yeah.
seen the trailers for it.
Yeah.
Which one?
the-
Licorice Pizza?
Licorice Pizza.
Mm-hmm.
The girl in that movie, this is going to sound real mean because
Mm-hmm.
it is. Is she 16 or like 60?
No. It's she's one of the girls from Haim.
Jesus Christ.
She's in a band called Haim.
She looks like she could be
Yeah, she's
any
like,
age.
I think she's like 30. I mean, I think it's
Okay.
Split the diff. Just right there in
Yeah,
the
right in
middle.
the
It's
middle.
a very weird movie where Paul Thomas Anderson is making a movie about how much he loved his art teacher when he was like younger, and then cast
just-
the art teacher's.
She just
Daughter.
turned 30. You're right.
Really?
Yeah,
it's people
fucking
saying.
bizarre.
Listen,
They
let
live in
that be
the UK.
let that be a lesson to all you kids out there. If you have deep psychological issues, just become a world celebrated artist and literally work out all your issues through your no sublimation. Just like absolutely work everything out you need to.
I don't
in your
need
art.
therapy. I made Punch Drunk Love.
Exactly, precisely. It's so funny. I was just talking about this the other day about The Master, which I remember seeing in the theater.
Who's in that?
Philip Seymour Hoffman and
Joaquin
Joaquin
Phoenix.
Phoenix. It's basically like the not Scientology, but totally Scientology movie. And I remember seeing it in the theater and being like, I didn't really like that. And then it's all I wanted to talk about for like 2.5 months. And I was like, I think that movie I didn't like is my favorite movie of the year because it's all I wanted. It's like, did you see The Master? Let's talk about it. Like, all I wanted
I did
to do.
the exact same thing. I just went, I don't know how I feel about that. And then for like a quarter of the year, just kept going, that movie was crazy.
Yeah, let's talk about this movie. It affected me. I was like, well, I guess that was it. That was my favorite movie of the year.
The chat has let me know, by the way, that English people do scream at movies now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, someone said Spider-Man was the first time they'd seen that.
Oh, no.
Two separate people in chat said in the UK they saw the new Spider-Man movie and people were clapping and cheering and doing all that
If
stuff.
Spider-Man's in
Fair play.
4DX, I will go see it in 4DX.
Let's do it.
Okay, cool.
Because we want to watch it again.
Oh, I'll absolutely go see it.
I wanna
I'm
go.
the only person. My
Wanna
wife
go?
saw it. Like, fucking
You didn't
crazy.
go with her?
There was one extra ticket, and I just went, you go. I don't care.
How nice.
Yeah. I watched Kung Fu movies on Amazon Prime. It was great.
Trevor and I just saw Don't Look Up. It's like a Netflix
that's out?
movie,
yeah.
but it's in theaters. as
Adam
well.
McKay.
Is that already on Netflix? That's coming to Netflix.
I don't know if it's already on Netflix, but it's a Netflix movie, so I
Yeah.
imagine it'll be there soon. But we went to see it in theaters yesterday for his birthday, and it was oh boy, poignant.
I don't know if I brought this up. I'm sorry, I'm talking so much
No,
on
it's okay.
camera. I think Don't Look Up is the culmination of everything I hate about cinema, all in one movie. Like based on the trailer, it looks exhausting in a way where these people are trying to get this point across, and no one will listen.
Oh,
and I just go,
don't go
oh,
see it
this is
then.
hell. I'm in hell.
Don't go
I'm
see
in
it then.
hell. It seems awful.
It is Anxiety the movie.
Yeah, that is exactly how I feel about it. It's
I
like,
thought it was great though.
it's like it looks. Here's the thing. It looks great. Adam McKay, awesome, fantastic. Everyone in it looks tremendous. It's making an incredibly salient, exigent point, and I don't think I can bring myself to watch it because I know it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's an allegory for the climate crisis. Like we have a giant meteor headed toward us, and no one's doing anything about it, and it's just like,
Pigs can't look up.
wait a minute.
Excellent point.
Is that a political opinion? Or I'm just kidding. No, but it's one of those movies where you leave the theater with the person who you were seeing with, and you're just kind of quiet when you're like walking out, and
kinda
then
sad.
after like a little bit, you go, "So,
Shit.
what'd you think? What'd you think?"
Want to not have kids? No, right.
Yeah, it's very interesting though, and I think it's I don't know. I don't want to say an important movie because I don't really think that that's the case, but I don't know. I would see it if you're interested even a little bit.
Well, I'm happy it's going to be streaming soon.
Yeah, there you go.
That's the way I like to watch it.
But yeah, it's stacked though. It's got like Meryl Streep, Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Ariana Grande's in it, which is
Do you just have a
funny
sick
little one.
home theater set up to watch all these movies?
I like my home
fair.
setup. I wouldn't say it's sick or anything, and it's not like anything crazy about it, but it's comfortable. I did calibrate all the sound for one spot on my couch. It's like if I'm going to watch something that I'm really into, it's like I don't sit in my normal spot. I got to sit in that spot. Like that's where everything is configured for.
Go to hell, Esther.
She can sit next to me.
like-
That's my spot.
There's like a sound dead zone right next to you. I was like, I can't hear this one. And just like when you like lean, like it all comes in. Oh my God.
I'm imagining like a nice big couch setup, like even like one of those U couches, and Esther's just in your spot, and you're like, move.
Listen, I'm about to put this
Excuse
movie
me.
on. Do you mind? This like I'm holding like a ticket. Like this is my seat.
Get out.
There is something. I think there's something so. I don't know why this idea tickles me, but it's so funny to think about someone with a like unbelievably just absolutely tricked out like home theater setup, but watching like broadcast like local TV on it and
God.
hearing like commercials for the general like insurance and this just like Dolby THX surround sound like 50 foot screen. Yeah, exactly. Watching like local TV and seeing commercials
that old 1080i.
yeah, exactly.
Speaking of local things, did you guys hear the news about Charles Mon?
Hell yes.
Eric Charles Mond.
Eric Charles
I don't-
Mond.
Have you heard this guy Charles Mon or Eric Charles Mon? I guess he's like the owner of a dealership here in Austin.
So Charles Mond is a dealership. I think that was his grandfather who started
Charles
it.
Mon Toyota.
Yeah, Toyota and Volkswagen. He's like the grandson of the original
Gotcha.
founder of the dealership.
A good old murderous fail son. Yeah.
He hired a hitman last year to kill 2 people in Nashville, and I guess got arrested.
caught?
Yeah, I think when everyone in Austin heard that like a car dealership person was arrested for hiring an assassin, everyone assumed it was Scott Elder, right? Like,
Of course. Yeah.
For the people.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like, oh man, they got Scott Elder. Charles Mond.
Yeah. Woo!
Did they get killed?
Yeah, he had 2 people killed in March of 2020, I think it was. I
Jesus
think he paid like
Christ.
$750,000.
$750,000.
That's
And he
insane.
still got caught.
The way I found out about it was Wes Ellis messaged me on Instagram, like he sent me the post from the Statesman about this and said, breaking, Eric Charles Mond, Austin auto magnate, hired hitmen to kill ex-girlfriend and her boyfriend, federal prosecutors allege. And then he said, I'm losing my mind. And I went, huh, do you know them or something? Because I didn't register like who this guy was. And I was like, oh, wait, the car guy? Charles Mond? Toyota?
Do you think, like 750,000? Do you think it was like 400,000 a hit, but he got like a deal
Like a
because he
deal?
was
He was like, well, they were both in the same car together. I don't have to travel.
That is messed up.
Yeah.
Good lord! And just for some like
I think
revenge thing.
They were trying to extort him, if I remember the story correctly.
Oh shit.
It's a sordid tale.
Yeah, and he hired the assassin just to try to put an end to the extortion plot.
I'm Scott Elder, and I'm a killer for the people.
For the people. Only funny to all of us.
Yeah, exactly. That's some,
If you live in
real
Austin, this is great.
inside baseball right there, folks.
Is Scott Elder still around? I feel like I haven't seen him on TV for a little while. Is he?
Bought my van from him.
Okay.
You bought
But like
your
how long ago?
van from him?
I feel like I haven't seen Scott Elder like in 6 months. Have we checked on him?
For the people.
I hope he's okay. Murder for hire.
It's a ruthless game.
He's always doing the rhymes. He's from the old school. I love Scott Elder because
He's always yelling too.
Yeah.
yeah, because
Is this
I
on
think he
TV?
puts the mic like way back here and does everything at that like cadence. That sounds like he's like
Yeah.
you know.
I'm Scott Elder for the people.
Yeah,
Come on down.
Sort of monotone. Anyway, you can probably find to those who don't live in Austin, do yourself a favor and find yourself some commercials of Scott Elder because he is from the old school of radio commercials where it's just like find a bit and do that for 50 years.
I feel like I have heard his TV commercials on the radio, right? It's like they don't need to do anything. They just lift the audio from the TV commercial and be like, look, we could just reuse this same audio. Boom. Now it's a radio spot.
100%. Yep.
We don't have to record anything else.
Nope, that's it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Local drama.
I want to step back. We were talking about movies for a little while. Have you all seen the trailer for Everything Everywhere All at Once?
Yes. 100%.
I am here for that movie.
I don't recall the last time I saw a trailer that like made me like stand up.
Yeah,
Like I was like, holy fuck, like I'm into this.
I watched it. It was done. Then I was like, I'm going to watch that again. Like I hit the
Instantly.
rewatch button to watch it one more time.
What's this about?
It looks really interesting. It's a movie with Michelle Yeoh, and it's like she's just like an everyday kind of person, just like kind of piddling about her life, and then like something happens, and then like you can see like all kinds of different realities of her, and it's like she can access the memories and skills of every version of her across every different
Even
alternate reality.
future?
It's a multiverse movie.
Yeah, it's a
live
multiverse
action
movie where it's like
Whoa.
all of the different multiverses.
Like
She
Jet Li's the
gains-
one, but she doesn't have to kill everyone.
Exactly.
Oh.
She gets all of their skills,
It's a good reference.
and it has a really cool look to it. It's
I'll
directed
see
by
that.
the Daniels.
The Daniels.
who did
And what's it
Swiss
called?
Army
You said
Man.
Everything, everyone was one?
Everything, everywhere, all at once.
Sounds like a Bo Burnham.
It looks fucking tight. Like,
She's such a great movie star, like action
God, I
fight.
love
She was
her.
Police Story and like all these awesome Jackie Chan movies and stuff.
Crouching Tiger.
Dude, it's so cool. I'm so excited.
She was in Shang-Chi, right?
and Shang-Chi, yeah.
Tomorrow Never Dies. What a Bond movie.
There you go. I mean, yeah, that's not really. That's kind of a bummer. But everything else, great.
Apparently on that movie, they had to bring in like a Chinese stunt team because the way she would do her action scenes, all of the like British stuntmen were getting hurt.
Really?
It's like real. They so she brought, I think it was like
That's
I want to
badass.
say it was like Jackie Chan's stunt team or something.
Yeah.
Probably. Those, man, I love watching any kind of like behind. I live for the like bloopers and outtakes at the end of Jackie Chan movies because it's just like, oh, they did all of these things. Like, oh yeah, they just like he jumped through a ladder and got stuck. It's like, oh, it's because they did it 40 times. It's just like, yeah, you watch all these guys get like smacked the fuck up with like bamboo canes and shit.
Dude,
It was
some
like,
of the scenes in like the early stuff, like the first Police Story, you got people just going through plate glass, and you're like, how did they do that? It's like they did it once, and the guy went to hospital.
yeah,
And
it's
they got the take.
I'm glad
went
we
face
were
first.
rolling. Yeah.
He went off the fourth.
Can we do it again for focus? It was a little soft.
The
New
goggles, they do nothing.
The goggles. The new Matrix movie. I wonder what the stunt budget was on that. Because holy crap. Even from the trailers, it's just like nonstop stunts.
Yeah,
I haven't-
it's
You haven't seen any of the trailers?
And not until I went and saw Spiderman was the first time I saw the trailer. I thought the trailer was wank.
Yeah. It's just
I
a
hope the
lot,
movie's good.
Feel the same way.
well, we're gonna find out in a couple of days.
right?
Yeah. It's weird to not be excited about a Matrix movie.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
I mean, I want to be. I love The Matrix.
be
yeah.
excited. Just tell yourself to be.
They don't know this, but I recorded an ad read for the Matrix. Just so you know, they don't know that happened.
Oh, I should
Yeah,
say it
it's
was
No,
like-
no, you can say whatever you can say whatever you want.
You haven't
Just
seen
like
the movie yet.
I don't want people to think that you're only saying what you say because I had to do an ad read. Like,
okay.
You didn't know that before you started saying what you
Appreciate
say.
The Matrix brought to you by our parent company. Oh God. Yeah.
I started rewatching them in anticipation, rewatching the Matrix movies in anticipation of the new Matrix this Wednesday, and then like on Friday I watched the original Matrix. I was like, yeah, the movie's awesome. I hadn't sat down and watched it beginning to end in a long time, like just cut little bits and pieces. Like, yeah, it was great. I'm gonna start watching Reloaded, and I got like 45 minutes into Reloaded. I was like, oh, I'm good.
See, whenever I do I've rewatched the Matrix trilogy several times, and I don't think I've ever watched the third movie. The first one, amazing, great cinema. Second one, I feel like I sort of like more each time I see it. Even the goofy like bowling pin sounds and the Burly Brawl and all that stuff.
I got up to the Burly Brawl starting. I was like, no, I'm gonna wait. Like I stopped, and then I ended up finishing the movie the next day.
But then I get like 20 minutes into the third movie, and I just stop it. Like I get distracted or like need to go and do something, and I just never pick it back up. It's a really hard movie to get through.
I'm gonna try to watch it either tonight after this or tomorrow before the new one comes out on Wednesday.
Have they said if you need to have seen
They are very clear in all of the marketing material. It is a spiritual successor to the first movie.
one? Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I thought because
They're-
I've seen the first one
Yeah, I think that
25 times. At
I
this
think
point.
they're probably trying to make you forget that the second and third existed, and
Yeah.
they're trying to go from the first one to this.
which I understand.
Interesting.
The third one was, and the second one were like, it's like vampires and shit. Isn't
That's
it?
so weird.
Oh yeah, and the second one, there's that thing where she's like, they're hard to kill. How many people walk around with silver bullets in their gun? And she shoots the one guy.
Oh wait, I was watching Underworld. Fuck, I'm so sorry. I was watching.
And
That's
they're
it,
like,
like-
yeah, they're like, yeah, vampires. They were from an earlier version of the Matrix. Vampires, werewolves, aliens. They were from an earlier
What is the what?
iteration of the Matrix.
Where does it end up then? Like the Matrix is like the seventh Matrix or something. It's like definitely not
Yeah.
the first one.
Keanu Reeves Neo was the sixth or the seventh. I don't remember which. But yeah, it was like the sixth or seventh iteration of.
And
the
how long
Matrix.
does an iteration last?
I think if I remember right, what the architect says, he doesn't measure it in years. He measures it in the number of the ones. So it's like there is no concept of years. It's just like sixth iteration or seventh iteration.
But in reality, if
think-
this is a continuation of our timeline, how long have humans been growing in pods?
I don't know. I think they're intentionally vague about that. Like even in the first Matrix, they guess that it's the year 2199, if I remember right.
Okay.
Because I think like they've lost track of time.
Carrie-Anne Moss has aged like fine wine.
Yeah.
My goodness. I feel like when we were watching it on Friday, we did a watch party on RTTV for it. I think I realized that Trinity in the first Matrix movie was my sexual awakening in multiple ways. But like, she looks real good currently. I'm just like very impressive because it's been
The first Matrix came out in
99.
99.
holy shoot.
Man, 99. What a year for movies. One incredible year for movies. Just line them up.
What else you got?
Matrix. The end of list. No.
I'm looking it up here. Oh, yeah, impressive. The top 4 movies, I'm loading the rest of them. Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
What a year for movies,
What
folks.
a year.
The Sixth Sense. Toy Story 2.
Excellent.
Austin Powers. The Spy Who Shagged Me. The Mummy.
Oh,
Blair Witch.
Mummy.
Whatever year, what was it? Those 2 Jim Carrey movies? Was it
94.
Saving Private Ryan, wasn't that 99 as well?
American Beauty. I don't see Saving Private Ryan on
Yeah,
here.
okay, maybe I was wrong.
That was 99, wasn't it?
What is this? I'm looking at the domestic box office for 1999 currently.
Whoa.
Saving
What are you,
Private Ri- Saving Private
dorm
Ryan was
room
98.
poster? Get out of here.
It's my freshman year.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
first
just like
Matrix is good.
I just remember when they're. I remember when. Feel very Andy Rooney. I just remember, like, speaking of the Matrix, just how like unique that movie looked. Everything about it, just like the color grading, like the cinematography, like everything about it felt so unique, and it just really speaks to like that time. Especially like you think about all those movies on that list from 1999. All of them looked so visually distinct. There was something like the look about all those like movies had their own like visual style and everything. I just feel like a lot of stuff has just gotten very homogenized over like the past like 20 years, just in terms of like the way stuff looks. Someone, I can't remember, I think I might have seen this on Twitter, but they were talking about how I think they called it like the brown like fuzz or the brown like goo or something that just like what it exists almost like over all color grades for cinema right now, and it's just like it looks like there's something about like the way that the movies have been color graded, especially like action adventure stuff over the past like 5 or 6 years that like looks fucking disgusting. And like it's not until you like really like someone points it out and you start comparing it, you're like, oh, movie to movie to movie, like all these action movies like share this like film over the blacks and stuff that like make it look
gritty.
So it just looks very disgusting.
I feel like everything, like film and video games, both operate in cycles like that. Like they're not doing the same look, but they'll get caught up in looks, and like games will emulate this one look or film will emulate this one look. Like after Bourne Identity came out, like all action movies were like shaky cam, like quick cuts where you can't really see any action.
No
Right.
music.
Yeah.
Just like,
Can we get that filter on the RT podcast from now on? That's real grungy.
I honestly don't like it when you notice the color in films. Like I've walked away from some films just being like, that movie was green.
The Matrix,
Yeah,
you're talking about, right?
Well, the
there?
Matrix is green in the Matrix, but it's kind of like bluish outside. Like I feel like that's intentional as part of the story. But I think it's like the second Bourne movie, like the Bourne Supremacy or something. It's just like the whole movie's green.
Yeah.
And then you watch like Liar Liar, and it's like, that's a brown movie. That's not what I'm taking away from these films. Like, just too brown.
Just
Distracting.
Distractingly colored.
Now
yeah.
I'm never gonna not see it. I'm gonna start watching movies and just notice like the brown goo on it now.
Yeah, just like think about like I don't know, because stuff like that visually like sticks out to me when I see it. I'm just like, what am I? Usually it's like, what do I not like about this? And then it would be like, what's actually happening? It's like, I think there's something visually gross about this that I like that like maybe I'm not consciously like picking up on, but like my
Just
brain
Kevin
goes,
Spacey's in it.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
gross part.
American Beauty was on that list.
Hey, 99.
There are some style choices in movies that I guess they were going for like a style, but it's just so distracting to me. Like we were watching through all the Scream movies, and I think Scream 4, I might have mentioned this before, it's like they've got Vaseline on the lens in every shot. It's like nothing is
like,
sharp.
soft glow.
Everything's like bloomy and just a bit mucky, and it disgusts
I don't
me.
think I ever saw Scream 4.
What if they just wiped shit on the lens? Because then you would get the Vaseline brown goo.
There you go.
A combination of the two.
Just do it practical.
Yeah, I like that look on older movies, like old like the kind of like Cinebloom look from like 80s movies and stuff, where like neon, like Blade Runner, where stuff like really where lights really kind of like gauze out and get really like stylized and cool. I like it from that era, but when it, for some reason when it's recreated now, it always just kind of comes.
I think the difference is maybe your brain knows that, like in the 80s when they did that, it was like an actual neon light that they were, filtering. Whereas if you watch it now, it's like an Unreal Engine 5 rendering of a neon light with like a particle effect thrown in.
That was
in post.
And what's also so funny and interesting about that is like I feel like so many of those looks that you think about that are so like iconic or classic, from like you think about Blade Runner and how it's like, oh man, the neon lights are like blooming. It's like rainy and stuff. There's a lot of steam everywhere. All that stuff was done to hide the fact that they were filming it on a set. Like,
Right.
they made it rainy and steamy and like blew all these lights out so you couldn't see what, like the fact that it's like, oh yeah, like the set ends right there and that alley is just like scaffolding. It's like they did all that stuff they created a look to creatively like hide the like budgetary shortfalls and like and the set. So it's like a creative solution became a distinctive look of something, which I think is really, really cool.
Well, I mean, that's what forces you to be more creative, right? It's like working within your limitations. Like when you don't have endless money and endless options, when you're like put in a box, you're like, this is what you have. This is what you can work with. You're like, well, all right. I mean, this is all we got. We got to make this work.
Yep.
That's why when a lot of big directors get access to more money, their films get really shit. Because they're not like working around some limitation that causes like a really cool effect.
Right. Yeah. They're not like, you just start getting solutions, not creative solutions, where it's just like, well, I can just, we throw enough money at this, I can like fix it. And it's like, also too, typically with those like unlimited budgets, you get no like creative friction. So like, with one person's vision taken to its like budgetary extreme rarely like produces like a product that's super
It's like
desirable.
why a lot of like first movie and like a series where there's like a monster, like Jaws with the shark and Alien and stuff. It's like you barely see the damn thing because it's hard to get that effect realistically, or the shark doesn't work and stuff like that. To the point where it's like a much scarier movie, and now they're like CGing aliens all over the place. And it's like I don't know why I'm watching this.
I love that in the original Alien, they thought about putting the alien costume on a dog and having it run around
Wait,
to be
really?
the alien. Yeah, like that. There's photos on the set of a dog wearing the alien costume because they're like, maybe this will make it work. Maybe this will make it scary. It's like a greyhound wearing the
How big can
alien
it be,
costume.
though? But that thing was big, wasn't it?
Yeah, I
in
think it
the
was just
final
a
version,
tall
yeah.
guy in a.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's like this was one of the iterations they were working on. They're like, maybe this will be what works.
I'll say this though, speaking of like visual effects and stuff like that, I think we're getting close because Dune was maybe that movie was about as close as my brain has ever gone to, oh no, that's a city in the desert.
Right.
Like
That was phenomenal.
the visual stuff in that movie really blew me away.
But then when you
Like,
start to think about like, oh, they're just behind a giant green screen right now. Like, well, I don't want to separate myself from reality here.
yeah, no, I think that's like because for the longest time it's just like, oh no, yeah, it's a fake building or fake super
The dog in a costume.
But
Yeah.
there was a dog alien in the third Alien movie though.
I think this was the third
They
alien
started
movie that they're
testing
working
it
on
very
here.
early.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like a part of the plot though. Like
Yeah.
gets in a dog.
man. Oh, that's the David Fincher or
Yeah. That was the third one, right?
yeah. That was his like first movie or second movie or something like that. They gave him like that franchise, and the third Alien movie is not great. That's one of those ones I keep wanting to love, and like we'll put it on. It's like the third one's not that bad.
Yeah, I've seen it once, and I just remember thinking like,
No,
Apparently, everyone should just stop at 2 for everything. Every
see,
movie.
2 is where my argument like falls down because 2 has so much alien
and
on
it's incredible.
screen. Even that like giant queen alien like snapping off the thing and coming down looks amazing.
Incredible.
And I don't know how they did that. That thing was ginormous. It was just like a big freaking puppet animatronic thing, I guess.
Yeah,
Mind-blowingly good for like how much you see the monster.
yeah. I think like it's often talked about, but like in Jurassic Park, there's only like I think like in total like 4 minutes of CGI in Jurassic Park. The rest it's like
Puppets.
the rest it's practical or puppets, and it's like they only used CGI where they couldn't get away with like doing it practically, and it's like aha, that's why I feel like there was like a very sharp peak for like with Jurassic Park for like visual effects.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of wide shots as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
when you can't, again, like, go back to your analogy of the painting. Like, when you can look at it from afar, it's like your brain does a lot of the filling in.
Exactly.
Then you get in close, you're like, oh, wait, this doesn't look like how
Oh,
I
wait,
thought it
this
was.
is shit. Just kidding. It's very good.
Yeah, when you look at this duck painting, man, this thing blows.
I was thinking about this the other day. How I'm pissed off that as I've gotten older, cameras at the same time have also gotten better. I think about this so much. I'm like, why couldn't cameras just get worse? Like, just to make us look less wrinkly and less detailed.
Oh, no. This face cannot support an HD close-up. You don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, stay back there. This is awful.
But on the flip side, the technology to be a VTuber is becoming more and more accessible and easier. So you can preserve yourself forever, courtesy of your Unreal Engine 5 camera.
Hey.
Yeah. Hello.
Just like, I'm 32. I got like 3 years left in me in the entertainment industry, right? Right? Like, give or take. Let's be real here. So maybe VTuber is my future. That's how I could live on forever.
It's
Everyone
all of our
knows who you are.
future.
Yeah, that's true. Shit.
We're getting close to having to wrap up. I wanted to mention this earlier. I just totally forgot. We have the Very Normal podcast tour that's kicking off soon, January 15th, here in Austin.
Oh, that is soon.
You can check out information at rtxevent.com. And maybe, oh, there it is. You can scan that QR code that's down over there. I think last time we mentioned it, tickets were only on sale for first members. Now they're on sale for the general public. Anyone can go buy them. So if you heard us talking about it before and you couldn't buy a ticket, hey, guess what? We're talking about it again, and now you can if you're not a first member. Go check it out, please. I know we have Rooster Teeth Podcast and Face Jam both on the docket. Rooster Teeth Podcast here in Austin, Face Jam up in Chicago.
Can you get a thing that detects a QR code on the screen instead of having to pull out a phone to look at it?
I think you're talking about a link. I think that's just a link.
Yeah, I mean,
Imagine if I'm watching a video, Eric.
Yeah.
QR code pops up. My browser detects, or my app detects that there's a QR code and just goes, you want to go to this link?
I think that's a thing that like iPhones do now, don't they? If they just like,
really?
if there's like one on the screen, I
think if you have a photo of it,
there's like stuff like that.
I don't know if it's in
it'll
video
detect
during
things
live
on your
playback,
screen and
though.
go, hey, do you want to click on this thing? Hey, do you want to know where to buy this?
Your
It's like, this is
browser
too
will
much.
automatically print your QR code from your printer, wireless printer that's connected on your network, and then you take a picture of that, and that will take you.
I had something, speaking of along those lines, I had a receipt. Remember I told the story about my package that got fucked up? I had a receipt with the tracking number on it, and I didn't want to lose the receipt, so just to be safe, I took a photo of it with my phone. And then I was looking at the photo on my phone, and my phone underlined the tracking number on the receipt. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Like, I just clicked on the tracking number in the photo, and it automatically
You can also copy and paste
the package.
photos.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's pretty
It
cool.
also does a thing where it could like read text in pictures now, right? Mm-hmm. So you could like transcribe
Isn't
essentially.
that exactly what you just said?
I mean, like if you like take a picture of something that has like, let's say a picture of a book, it'll type it out for you, not just like identify where
A
it's
receipt is a short book.
It's a very short book.
Unless you're going to CVS, am I right? Am I right, folks?
Hey.
Everyone,
It's
thanks
a
for watching.
freaking
Mr. Andrew
novel.
Rosas, here at the Rooster Teeth Podcast. Thanks for
Happy
watching. We'll see you guys
holidays.
next week.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. Happy Christmas.
Perfect end. Fucking perfect.